What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Wayne, the Thrift Nerd. It is dark and stormy in Cleveland, Ohio, you guys. What better atmosphere than to talk to you guys about something really spooky? eBay returns. Oh my God. If you want to know how to properly handle eBay returns, please stick around for the entirety of this video. I am just going to kind of spitball with you and tell you everything that I know and how I handle returns. Please give the video a like and subscribe to my channel. You can kind of click right down here in the corner to do so. Let's get right into this spooky topic. It's gonna get scary in here, you guys. Okay, the first thing you need to know about returns is that it is just a part of the business. So no matter if you sell on eBay or Poshmark or Amazon even, whatever platform you sell on, returns are going to happen. Furthermore, if you're selling like used clothing and electronics, which are the two categories I sell the most of, you're going to have more returns than someone who's selling maybe like video games or clothing that's new with tags. So first thing you kind of need to understand is like it's gonna happen, and certain categories welcome more returns than others. I'm going to show you guys how to look up what your percentage of returns are on the eBay seller platform. A good percent to shoot for is about 3% or less. So if you go to your seller tools and you look at kind of your seller statistics section here and you follow it down, you can see how many total returns you've had versus your lifetime sales. Obviously, like electronics are going to have more returns than clothing for me, but clothing will have more returns, like I said, than video games or like home goods. It really does matter what you're selling versus like the amount of returns, but a good rule of thumb is to stay at or under 3%. Obviously, you want as little as possible, but now one thing to keep in mind with returns is you have the option of not accepting returns. However, I strongly advise against this. eBay has made statements in the past saying that if you offer free returns within 30 days, then you will be kind of promoted in the listing algorithm. So that by itself should be incentive to offer returns. Free returns within 30 days is also one of the pre-qualifiers for being a top-rated seller and branching into power seller level, which will give you a discount on your listing fees and some other benefits through eBay. So you can't even get those badges without offering free returns. So in my opinion, you should always offer free returns within 30 days. I do that on all of my listings. eBay has shown that they favor that. So anything that you can do that eBay favors is going to get your listing seen by more people. So like, why wouldn't you do it? I suggest that you pay for the returns yourself as the seller. So free returns within 30 days paid by the seller. Here's the thing, you guys, this whole thing boils down to customer service. You can provide service to your customers. The happier your customers are, the better your sell-through rate's gonna be, the more positive feedback you're gonna get, and the less likely you are to get negative feedback. That's what you're really trying to avoid with returns here, you guys. Anytime that I get a return request, I will actually not just like accept it and go through the process of doing a return. I will send a message out to the customer, a personal message. Say they buy a pair of jeans and the jeans don't fit. Totally understandable, especially for like used clothing. So I will not only accept the return, I will email the buyer and I'll say, hey, I'm so sorry that these jeans didn't fit you. If you file a formal return ticket on eBay, it will walk you through the process, and once I've received the item from you, I will inspect it and gladly give you a refund in full That little bit of a personal touch really goes a long way and will separate you from a lot of the other sellers who run their eBay business. They don't offer that little panache of customer service. You need to always be professional with your rapport with your customers, okay? And if you go the extra mile, you guys, you will find that you can actually turn a negative experience, like someone sending you a return, into a positive, in that they may even say, oh, you know what, this item didn't fit me, but they'll leave you a positive feedback and say they were really easy to work with, and you know, they accepted my return without issues. That happens to me all the time. I can't even tell you how many returns I've had that have turned into positive feedback because I'm nice. I email the customers. I always accept the return. You know, even if your buyer is being difficult, right? They're complaining and they are unhappy with the purchase and they're kind of nagging about it or whatever, you just kind of have to like suck it up. The customer is always right, you guys. Just do whatever you can to mitigate them from giving you a negative feedback. There have been times where like I've sold something that was a low ticket item, like a $10 item or something, and someone's wanted to return it. And they're like, hey, you know what, I'm sorry that this didn't work out. Just go ahead and keep that item and I'll offer you a full refund. You don't even have to go through the process of sending it back to me. Really not worth my time. And that again can turn into a positive feedback. So the other thing I want you guys to know about returns is that if you go through the proper channels and do it correctly through eBay, once your return is finalized and you've gotten the item back, you inspect it, it will automatically relist it for you. It won't count against your allotted listings for the months, and it won't charge you the initial fee when you first listed the item. So I mean, the item is just going to go back up, and then it's like it never happened, you guys. But yeah, it's free to relist when you accept it, and it looks really good for your store, and it's just a really professional way to handle your business. Now, for the second half of this video, what I would like to do is to actually talk to you guys about ways that you can list your items to negate returns in the first place, right? This is primarily for clothing, since that's what I deal with, but it really, this advice, other than some of the nitty-gritty, applies pretty much across the board. The first thing is, you want to make sure that if your item has any imperfections and you're selling it anyways, that is super obvious to your buyer. If you have a VCR that you're selling and one of the buttons doesn't work, make sure you put that right in your description. I'll even put it in the title of the listing. That way there's no question that there is a slight imperfection. So yeah, you want to really highlight what is wrong with your listings. If there are any defects at all, I will usually make sure to, like, if there's a stain on a shirt, I will specifically photograph the stain. I will make sure I point to it in the listing. I'll make sure it's in the description, especially in the area where you can put condition details. That's where you're supposed to highlight that kind of stuff. If you're selling clothing new with tags, this really isn't too much of a concern. But like for used clothing, you want to always make sure you're putting measurements into your listings, right? Now, I always put it in the description, and like for shirts, for example, I do the pit-to-pit measurement, I do the measurement of the sleeves, and I do the bottom of the collar to the hem. Every single listing, you guys. It is worth your time and effort to do that because, one, people will know if it fits them or not, or they at least should. And two, like, you'll save yourself time actually, because then people won't be sending you messages asking what are the measurements for this item. This is really important for jeans too, because even though the tag of jean may read as a 30-inch waist, it may have like shrunk in the wash or something like that, so it may actually only measure out to be 29 inches. So your buyer needs to know that, okay? So now it's up to you. Some people will actually go ahead and put the measurements in the listing photographs themselves. They'll usually have like a yardstick or a measuring tape kind of showing that. That's your call if you want to do that. I certainly don't advise against that. However, I don't do it because I think it takes away from like the visual aesthetic of your photos. But again, up to you. Make sure though that you at least put them in the description, and that will be one less thing that someone could return your items from. The other thing I would say to negate returns is make sure you're putting up honest photos. And what I mean by that is like, don't list things and put a bunch of filters on it to make them look nice. This isn't Snapchat, you guys. Your pictures should accurately represent what you're selling. Don't take a picture of a pink dress, increase the contrast and saturation so much that it looks bold and poppy and beautiful, and then your buyer gets it and they're like, what the heck, this is like so faded. This is not at all what your picture looked like. Accurate photos, you guys. You gotta be honest with what you're selling, okay? And you have to make the decision up front, like if there is a stain or a hole or something goofy about the item, do you even want to sell it in the first place, because you know that you're already increasing the likelihood that you might get a return. To sum everything up for you guys, returns are just a part of the eBay, Poshmark, Amazon business. They are going to happen to you, and although they may be scary, you just have to deal with them in a professional manner. Never like rage quit when somebody gives you a hard time about it. Just suck it up and send them a nice email and make it as smooth as possible, because in the end it's all about customer service, you guys. And I guarantee if you just kind of follow these things and you do what we talked about to mitigate returns when you're listing your items, you will keep that return rate under 3% or so. If your return rate starts to get too high from a certain type of item, that means you need to clean up your listings, or maybe you shouldn't be selling that item. It is a learning curve, you guys. And the first time you get a return, it's like, oh, it's the worst thing that could happen. But you know what? Once it's happened enough and you deal with it in the right way, and you see that as long as you're being honest and following these guidelines, it's really not that bad. And you know, learn from your mistakes, and there you go. So you guys, I hope you found something useful in this video. Again, if you enjoy these videos, give the video a like. Please subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to grow. I am dropping new videos every Sunday, you guys. So if you click that notification bell, you'll be the first to know when I drop a new vid. Now, it's getting a little too spooky with all this talk and returns, so I'm gonna get out of here for now. Thrift Nerd signing out. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care now. Goodbye.